I'm Amy, from an introduction for those who might not know me. Today's session will be on Hacktober Fest, and the things I'll be covering first is the purpose of the Hacktober Fest, the actual purpose, and then I'll be talking about the updated rules of the Hacktober Fest and how you have to go about it, like how you actually need to perform the Hacktober Fest now, because you can't just contribute to any repo that you like. All right, so I'll just share. Okay, so first of all, Hacktoberfest is only conducted in great. Is always conducted in the month of October. So the major purpose of the Hacktoberfest was basically that a person learns to contribute. Like it's a stepping stone for that person into the open source world. And for the reward for that was like swags and t-shirt, but certainly it turned out to be awful over the past years when people just started misusing it. Yeah. So Hacktoberfest is actually really good. I started my contributions in open source. I learned how to do PR. I learned how to do actual open source contribution to different organizations, starting from Hacktoberfest itself last year, and then I practiced through for 6 months. So if you take Hacktoberfest seriously and not just out of the greed of just getting a t-shirt and a swag, then you will get something out of it. Otherwise, it's just useless. Okay, so now recently there were a lot of spams for many of the, and there were many complaints. Like there is a Twitter channel which is known as Shitoberfest. So everyone who gets spam PRs, just posted there, and there are a lot of them, and this complaint reached Hacktoberfest, due to which they were like forced to come up with new rules. Okay, so I'll just first tell what type of PRs are not valid. All right, if you're going to go to someone's readme and just add a word or change some grammar error or like edit some spelling, it's not a valid PR. It's useless. It's literally contributing nothing. There's no point to a PR. It's not going to make any change. You can't just go from this is a project to this is an awesome project to be a valid PR at all. That's a big no-no. Okay, and then just PRs with you, if it's in web development, just changing a background and telling that, oh, I changed the background from this color to this shade, and just making really really minor changes which is not even reflecting in a good way for the project, is not a valid PR. Okay, so that's why Hacktoberfest came out with really new rules. Okay, so I'll be going through them. Okay, so this is a nice part, so this is the only part that needs to know. Okay, so the PR that you will make will only count if it's a public repo. It's not going to work on private repo. It never did anyways. Okay, so once you find a PR, a public repo, it needs to have a topic of like Hacktoberfest. Only if it has a topic of Hacktoberfest, contribute. Okay, so if it is Hacktoberfest and if it is merged or has been approved. Okay, so if you have created a PR in the topic with Hacktoberfest and it has been merged or approved, then it will be a valid PR. Okay, it will be reflected on the profile of your Hacktoberfest. Now, even if it's not merged or approved, it's not a problem. But if you get a label of Hacktoberfest accepted by the maintainer, then also that's a valid PR that is considered by Hacktoberfest. Okay, another thing that the Hacktoberfest people have done now is that the review period initially was only 7 days, and now it's extended to 14 days. Okay, so that the maintainer has more of the more of the freedom to like even remove the label if they want. The reason for that is basically, let's say someone has made a valid PR on yours, but it requires some changes to it, but you just give him him or her Hacktoberfest accepted label for the sake that they have followed every single contribution guideline and they are trying to contribute something valid to your repo. But even if you have like after submitting that Hacktoberfest accepted label, and if that person doesn't like follow up on the reviews that are provided by the maintainer on that particular repo, just because they got the label, so now they are free. So that's when, if the maintainer decides that this guy is not worthy as he's not following up on the repo reviews, the maintainer is like free to remove the label as well. So that's the 14-day period for each of them. Okay, so that's like the basic thing. So when you go on the follow your profile, whichever you make, I have created my 4, but that like took a lot of time because I wanted to make proper ones. Okay, so you see this review period, like there are different sets. Okay, so if invalid is obviously if it's spam or invalid, so make sure you don't make any invalid PRs, because if the maintainer keeps labeling you as keep labeling every single PR you make as invalid or spam, Hacktoberfest will exclude you from any future ones. If they come to notice you, they will exclude you. So just don't do any stupid PRs. Honestly, it's not right at all. Okay, so there's ineligible repository. So that's what I just said, like mentioned with the rules. You need to choose a repo with the Hacktoberfest topic. So I'll tell what the topic means in GitHub, but that's what it means. If the repo doesn't have that, then it's an invalid PR. I mean, it's ineligible for you to even participate in it. And the other ones are the normal ones that were before also. The review period, that is now 14-day review period. I told you the reason also for why the review is there. So that's there. Now after the review period passes successfully, okay, it's approved. Now all your PS that you have created is approved. So now you're there for Hacktoberfest. Cool enough. Okay, so that's like the process you do. Now I will just teach on this one itself, like how to go about it. Okay, just a sec. Okay, don't mind the white light theme. I have to use my college account for this. Okay, so I'll tell you what the Hacktoberfest topics are, like what it actually means. Okay, so I'm just telling you can do it or not do it. So what I've done is I have kept like one repo under Hacktoberfest. So these are what you call topics. So if this is the topic, this is the topic. So I've kept those two topics. Even if you put Hacktoberfest alone, it's counted as the eligible repository. Okay, so you look for repositories with these topics only and contribute. I know it's not a good way, but it prevents spam for now. So it's the only way, because I couldn't contribute to my favorite organization repos, but it's a good way to avoid spamming right now. So that's the thing. So Hacktoberfest 2020. So then after you get the branches, like every single time, please go through the readme and contribution guidelines. Okay, so I have just giving this as the example because I have seen this happen in many other repos, so I just did it like that. Okay, so this individual made a PR regarding what I wanted, and he followed all the guidelines. He followed the structure of coding style, structure of how to create a PR. Okay, so each and every repo might have a different structure of creating PR. So he did most of the stuff I really needed. So I accepted it. Okay, and he's even following up on all my reviews. Could you just... I think someone's on mute. Yeah, okay. Okay, so if the person's following, this person is following up on all my reviews that I'm asking. So that's why I've kept him as Hacktoberfest accepted. Okay, so now the major thing is like how to find. So you can obviously find many Hacktoberfest 2020 this ones. So there are particular, when you search it directly from GitHub, so you will certainly get every single repo that is eligible for Hacktoberfest. So this one you can choose to contribute to any of them. They will accept it. No problem to that. So that's how it's working. And they won't just accept it. As I told you, if this maintainer actually thinks you have a valid PR, then only yours will be accepted, otherwise not. Okay. So you need to like create the manner they have. Like this one's quite simple, but it's a manner anyways. So but you need to follow the structure of every single PR the maintainer is asking for, and then only you can do it. Okay. So as part of DSC NIT Surat, what you can also do is we have so in DSC NIT Surat I have kept two of the repos under Hacktoberfest. One is the reservoir. So reservoir, what it basically does is includes the all the resources that are required for each and under every single domain. So in this also, if you are going to include some random typo changes or typo fixes, I will not accept it. Okay, I'm maintainer for both, so I will not accept any that is invalid PR. It needs to follow the structure. Even for DSC website, you need to follow a very particular style because it's a website, so that's more delicate. You don't want to break down a website. So I'll look into each. Do not just go like I changed the color of this button, I thought this was it's and I changed the background of this, and if it's not reflecting good on the website by me, I will not consider it. Okay, so it's all up to the maintainer. So this is like a few examples. I told you how you can search for all the Hacktoberfest too. Okay, so now the manner in which you create a PR, and I think if a person reads that particular structure of the PR, it will be necessarily accepted. Okay, so I'll just show you because I have been following that PR structure since a lot of times, and it kind of attracts the maintainer's eye because it's crisp and it talks about what your PR exactly does. So I'll just show you on how it does. So see, first of all, just go like, is this PR solving an issue or a feature enhancement? So if it's a feature enhancement, cool. And if there are some issues and you're resolving an issue, you mark it as a issue. Then you go like, why was this PR created? So obviously if it's a issue that was already raised, you can type the issue. Or if it's a feature enhancement, then why should this feature be considered for the particular repo? You need to do that. Then what does this PR contribute? So what does this PR contribute? It's like the difference from it has from before is like, why is it necessary? And this one is like, what all has steps, like what all changes has been taken into effect for this like for this particular PR to follow that changes. Okay, and last is, it's not necessary, but this one's completely not necessary, but it's if you are contributing to a repository which involves coding, then I then go through the structure of the coding style, because it's very important you maintain the coding style of each and every repo. So this is like the basic manner that would like catch attention, like everything is perfectly organized. And if in the end you have created some UI changes, you can like even like output like the images if you require. So like you can write it like output of like output, okay, just output of this one, and you can just include it. If it was an issue, you can go like, before what was the situation ka picture, and after ka what the situation was the picture. So that way the maintainer will know what you have done, so it's easier for them to like understand. So these are like the basic tips on Hacktoberfest. It's really not hard, it's completely easy. It's just, do not make it silly. Okay, even if you ask, even if like I'm maintaining repos so that I can accept people's PR, but I'm not going to obviously accept invalid PRs, so that will be really essential. Even if, just don't go like, don't take disadvantage of this features as well, because people can of this one, because obviously this algorithm is not perfect, it has flaws. But the most important thing about ActiveFS is you learn about open source, because when you learn about open source you will actually know what you can do with it. Then maybe in the future you can, like, it will be beneficial for you in GSOC and outreach, certainly, even in Girl Script, MLH fellowships, so many like pros you will have from Hacktoberfest itself, because you will learn how to make a proper PR and how to follow up with the maintainer. So you will just learn every single thing properly during this month. Just make proper 4 valid PRs. Don't make stupid PRs at all. So these are the major pros. Obviously, it's a pro to get a t-shirt and swag. That's like side effect. You will get t-shirt and swag for almost every single thing, but you need to work hard for it. Okay, even though you can get it easily, just go the hard way for this, because it's really really important. Because people don't like seeing shitty PRs anymore. uh, and if you actually, like, you will feel angry if you go to the Twitter channel and read all the shitty PRs that were made in the channel of Shitoberfest. It's completely useless. And oh, also one more thing that Hacktoberfest did take initiative this year is, if you do not want a t-shirt, instead of the t-shirt, if you choose that I don't want a t-shirt this year, they will plant a tree instead from your account. So if all your PRs are approved and you decide that you do not want a t-shirt this year, so instead of providing you t-shirt, they will plant a tree. So that's all on you. It's your wish. If you want a t-shirt, you want to help them plant a tree, it's on you. I won't go green, go environment. It's on you, no problem. uh, Many people will do that. It's not a big issue. But my main concern is, if you have attended this particular session, you can make valid PRs. Also, I will, like, after this particular session is over, I will send the link to a GitHub repo. So in the DSC NIT Surat, where we are creating a reservoir, I will include all the PRs that are proper and fun. Like, you will learn something out of it. So they are under the Hacktoberfest topic, and they are PRs, like they are the repos where you can actually create and learn something from it. So after this particular session is over, I will be sending each, like, I'll mail. If you have RSVP'd for the event, certainly I can mail all of you the particular link, and that's it. So if you have any doubts though, like regarding it, regarding Hacktoberfest, you can ask now, or you can even mail to the DSC event that's there. So the session is over. It's not so long, certainly, because I'm not going to teach you, but step by step. So does anyone have any major query regarding Hacktoberfest? Okay, I'm assuming nobody. If anybody does have any query, just say it now. Speak up, no problem about that. How to find appropriate PRs? Oh, okay. See, Avni, I just told you, like, in GitHub, I showed you like how to search. When you just go github.com, and in the search just type like Hacktoberfest 2020, there are many PRs. So you have to contribute to a particular repo for. Oh, how to find what do you mean by find appropriate? You mean appropriate repo? I'm just assuming that for now. So out of that, just choose which one suits. Like, you need to choose a repo where you will actually learn. You will learn from something, because and you're actually helping others from it as well. So it makes an impact if you are creating that repo. So that's the thing. I also, like, when I was presenting the first one, I opened and it showed like create an image and all that thing. I wouldn't do that kind of PRs at all. That's not the type of repo that I would invest my time in, because you are not really learning out of it. It's just a flaw that It's just the flaw part of the particular rules that they have got. So it's better if you find where you can actually improve your skills in, and certainly you will find many like that. There are a lot who are under a Hacktoberfest this time. So yeah, that's all. Did I answer your question? Uh, no, no, no. See, yeah, okay. You can make as many SP as you want during October, but whichever go through the review process, and the first four that have been approved by the Hacktoberfest will be accepted. Because last year I made 5 to 6 PRs, and all got accepted under it. So that doesn't really matter, but it should be at least minimum four that you make, minimum four valid PRs that you make for the month of October. Certainly, you can't exceed. So I think you should start from now itself because it goes through a long review period. Wait. So, see, I believe it can be accepted. It's just that it will only be accepted if the particular maintainer marks it as Hacktoberfest accepted. So I'm just suggesting you guys should just start from now itself because uh, it will be helpful because the maintainers certainly take time to review through all the PRs. So it's better you make it now itself so that it can be Hacktober accepted or approved or merged or anything. And it'll go through review process. That doesn't really matter, but as it has gone under the review process, it doesn't matter after that. So if it's either merged, approved, or Hacktoberfest accepted label is there, and within that review period nothing has been reverted for your particular PR, then it will be approved automatically by Hacktoberfest. It doesn't have anything to do with it. So it doesn't even have more questions, or we can end this session. All right, cool. Then, bye, guys. Thanks for attending, and we'll keep coming with really good more webinars for you guys so that you can certainly learn different tech stacks along with open source as well. So, thank you for attending again, and bye.